Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostip and this is going to be part 15 of my early campaign where I'm playing as Aragon. And I'm feeling pretty gosh darn good about this campaign so far. It did kind of take me a while to get set up, but now I finally do have the entire Iberian Peninsula and I'm starting to build up a pretty decent trade network. I don't have ships in every sea province yet, but I do have an income right now of almost 3 grand, which is feeling pretty good. Now, as far as my wars are concerned, I'm only at war with the Almohads, and it's a little bit pesky because I'm kind of beating them back and they're kind of attacking me again. But I feel like at this point, I think that I do have enough soldiers in both Granada and Cordoba to defeat any potential attacks from them. Right now, their numbers are it's mostly peasants and archers right now between these two armies, so I'm not too concerned about it. They do have a 5-star general, but there is only one man left in his unit. It's just him, and he would fight like a demon, but his loyalty is only 2, so he could go rebel against, you know, the Almohads, and that could cause them another headache as they deal with another civil war. So I think that there's a good chance that I can get a ceasefire with the Almohads, potentially, you know, we'll see. So I can send down, I have an emissary hanging out here in Pomerania, so can I send you down here and have you talk to the Almohad king, wherever he is, and that would be nice to get a ceasefire. I don't have any boats yet along the Almohad coast, so I wouldn't be able to trade with them anyway, but we'll get around to it eventually. Right now I am focusing on getting my boats up to the Black Sea so that I can trade with Georgia and Crimea, and then Bulgaria, I believe, is this is the whole province? I can't remember if this is the whole province. I think it's Bulgaria. Or it's, no, I think Bulgaria is just this. So this must be Wallachia. Yeah. Sounds good. Now, there is going to be another count for the Glorious Achievement points at the end of this turn, once I reach 1175. And I am behind, so it's a little bit, you know, if you kind of look at it like that, it's a little concerning, but it's a very long game. So there's going to be a lot of time for me to, you know, get my points back. I believe this goes to the year 1453, I want to say, is when Constantinople was sacked by the Turks. I believe that's like when the game ends. And so I have a lot of time to catch up here. As you can see, the people that are really far ahead right now are the Byzantines with 42 points and the Italians with 39 points. And if you look over at the Byzantines, they are kind of getting their butts kicked by the Egyptians, which feels really good for me. Because in this case, I mean, they're even losing roads here to some rebels. And they've lost Naples a long time ago. And they've lost a few of their core provinces to the Egyptians here, including Nicaea. Now, they could get Nicaea back because there's a decent garrison here in this castle, and they do have 2 stacks here in Constantinople, including this 1,000,000-star general here, which is just insane. That's just a lot. Wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My oh my, wow. So they very well could get Nicaea back. The Egyptians do have 3 half stacks here. It's okay, but yeah, they could lose to these 3 stacks combined. But still, I think the Egyptians are the Byzantines are having a hard time. Then that boils it down to the Italians. And the Italians aren't really doing well because they, you know, conquered a lot of territory. No. They're doing well just because their Glorious Achievements points are kind of skewed in a way. If you look at their homelands objectives, they're making, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 12, 13 points off homelands. And that's it. It's pretty insane. They haven't conquered anything. And they're getting 3 each for Genoa, Milan, and Venice, which is here, here, and here. And then 2 for Tuscany, and then 1 for Sardinia and Corsica. So it's basically like, right? It's just like these 3 provinces that's getting a lot of their points for them. And once they get into some wars, either with the Papal States or with France or Germany, they will start losing their territories. I haven't seen the Italians get too strong. Maybe this will be the campaign for it. Maybe I will have to actually go in there and have to do something about it. I actually do plan to. For my Aragon campaign, I'm not really planning on taking the Almohad Desert from them. And I'm also not really planning on taking French territory unless I have to, just to kind of put them in their place. What I do plan on doing is expanding this way and kind of creating a Mediterranean trade empire. Now, I don't know a lot about the Crown of Aragon. I do have a book sitting on my shelf that's about the Crown of Aragon, so I will learn eventually. But from what I do know, they kind of formed this like trade confederacy where they essentially ruled Sardinia, Corsica, the Balearics, which aren't on the map, and I believe Sicily, I believe parts of Naples, and I believe they had a colony in Greece as well. So these are kind of going to be like the provinces that I'm going to be focusing on. I guess for the heck of it, I can, why not just take Malta and Crete and Rhodes and Cyprus just to kind of round it out. And I will have Antioch as well because that's a crusade objective. And that's basically what I'm looking at for my expansion during this campaign. If I go anywhere else afterwards, after I do that, we'll see. But that's my initial goals. So who does that put me at war with? Well, the Italians. Now, as you saw, these provinces aren't worth a lot to the Italians. It's only 1 point each for Corsica and Sardinia. But it does keep me at war with them, And I'm not trying to have a long-term war with the Italians, but that could probably, throw a little wrench in their plans regarding their glorious achievements points and allow me to catch up a little bit. So I'm not too worried about them. Now, you might be wondering, what about the French? The French, as I've said a few times, they really kick ass. They're fighting right now. If I look at this, they are currently fighting the Egyptians because I believe they have a crusade on the way, and the English and the Germans. And they're doing well from what limited view I do have. They're doing well up here against the English. They're doing well over here against the Germans. And that's all I see right now. But yeah, they own pretty much all of this from what I can tell, right? So you might be wondering, why am I not too worried about their glorious achievements points? Well, let's have a look at it. Their glorious achievements points really is skewed against them. It's kind of the opposite of the Italians. So for them, they can get a lot of points, for example, from this one, right? If they build a citadel in Tripoli, they're going to get just, a ton of points, right? Well, they have to take Tripoli, and they haven't done that yet. Where is it? It's right here. Yeah. So that hasn't happened yet. So not worried about that. What else do they have? Notre Dame. They need to build a cathedral in Ile-de-France. And if we look at their homelands, do they even own Ile-de-France? Oh, yeah, they do. I believe that's right. That's one of their core provinces. Yes, it is. So they could do that. Sure, whatever. But what else do they got? Their homelands themselves are kind of stupid. So Aquitaine, they get 3 points from. That's this. Okay, fine. They get Aquitaine. What else? Flanders, Brittany, Ile-de-France, they only get 2 points from each of these 3 provinces that they already own, right? And then 1 point each from Champagne and Toulouse. Fine. What about these 3 provinces? Well, these are goddamn crusade objectives. Antioch, Tripoli, and Palestine. And it's only 1 point each for them to go all the way over there and get those provinces. Tripoli, Antioch, and Palestine. Yes, I know where things are. That's not great. It's not great. And I can't tell you off the top of my head how these points change throughout the campaign, because they do change per faction based as how time goes along. The homelands might go up or go down depending on historically if a empire did expand or diminish. So for example, the Byzantines start off with a lot of territories, so they start off getting a lot of points, but by the mid and late campaigns, they're only getting points off Constantinople and like a few other places. Even if you do have a huge empire, you're not getting points off of those places because historically the Byzantines didn't have a huge empire as they got into the later medieval era. So I don't know, and this is where I don't know enough about this era to say. If I knew a lot about the French Empire, I could tell you my guess as to how their homelands have changed over time, but I don't know that answer for you, so I'll have to keep an eye on that as I go along. But that's just in my experience, I've seen France, even with a quite decent empire, not really be killing it in the points, area. If it does come to a concerning level where we get kind of into the late mid campaign or maybe even the late campaign, and if I need to do something about it, well, they're right here. So we're neighbors. I can invade them and take their territories and kind of cause some problems for them. So I'm not worried about that. It's more of an issue if you let a faction that's on the other side of the map from you get far ahead. because then you have less, I mean, it's harder to, you know, exert your control over them. For the Byzantines, it would be a naval invasion, which is possible, sure, but you have to beat their fleets. And, you know, it's funny, it doesn't get done right away. Beating fleets kind of can take a decade, you know, or a decade and a half, maybe 2 decades to really get all of the ships out of the way, especially the Byzantines. The Byzantines have this a really annoying ship called the Dromon, which has a speed of 4, which allows the ship to kind of zip around and avoid a lot of conflicts, which it just keeps it alive, you know? And as long as it's alive, it can be disrupting your trade income, and it can be disrupting your reinforcements from coming in and, you know, helping you maintain a presence in enemy lands that's overseas. So that can get annoying. That's why when I keep an eye on the Byzantines and I'm going, yeah, go Egypt, do it, take them out. That's because I know that the Byzantines can be kind of a tough cookie just in that regard. So that's that. And I haven't seen the Russians ever do anything. I've never seen the Novgorods do anything. If they did, that would be kind of scary if they got big, because then it'd be like, oh crap, what do I have to do? Like invade from the Baltic Sea? That'd be kind of you know, treacherous depending on the situation. So that's a little talk through on that. For now, we are friends with the French, but this is a little bit nerve-wracking to me because having a situation where I have 2 French armies sitting on my border of Navarre where I don't really have much, it's a little nerve-wracking. I feel like I'm finally in a good place down here in Granada and Cordoba to be where I probably don't have to bring more forces to these provinces. If the Almohads invaded either or both provinces, I probably can win either or both of those battles. So I do need to start, you know, moving up here to Navarre and Aragon. And in addition to that, I do need to also probably have an army or 2 ready just to be able to go with my crusade when it's ready to go take Antioch. I'm still aiming for Leon. I'm still trying to get those +1 Knights of Santiago that can be trained up here with the crusade marker. So that's my goal. If I run out of time, I do have a church that's already here in Castile so that I can just go straight to that chapter house and build that crusade marker, which I think is like 4 turns for each of those things. So we're getting kind of down to the wire, right? It's 1174. I need that crusade accomplished by 1204. So we're getting down to it, but I still think I do have enough time here. We're going to see if I can pull this off and get those 3 points from that, you know, crusade. And it's not just for the points either. Antioch is freaking rich, you know, really good trade resources. So that's going to be the goal with that. And then, yeah, over time, I can start focusing more on, yeah, kind of expanding a little bit and just getting my hands dirty a little bit in this Mediterranean, you know, area here. So that's going to be the plan with that. Right now, I'm mostly focusing on boats here in Valencia, I believe, although I am building an assassin for now, just so that I can kind of keep my borders clean of other factions. I was going to say enemy. No, we are allies. But other factions, agents that are, you know, spying on me. I'm going to see if I can have an assassin just kind of keep my borders clear. Same with these Almohad emissaries hanging out in Castile. Now, because we are allied with the French, I really don't think they should attack me, right? Because if they broke that alliance, that means that they're going to be losing influence by attacking me. And they are at war with 3 other factions right now. So I shouldn't be too worried about this, but I am feeling a little bit weak. So I do want to get more soldiers up to my northern border. Right now, I'm training up my feudal sergeants here in Aragon, basic archers in Castile, Spanish jinetes are being trained in Leon. I have a few more that I want to get retrained here. And then Cordoba's focusing on boats, same with Valencia after I train up this assassin. And then Granada's not doing much right now. I probably could get them up to where they can build boats at some point. Same with Portugal. I really need to start building boats here. But I haven't even started building this keep yet. So it's going to be quite a ways on that. And yeah, same thing here in Leon. Like I still have like 3 turns left before this keep is finished. So it's going to be a little while for that. So it's a little bit weird, right? I'm not really going full in on building a bunch of ships. I just have 2 provinces focused on that. I'm also not going full in on training soldiers. I just have a handful of provinces focusing on that as well. But you know what? I mean, my treasury is pretty solid, right? So that feels good. And being at war with only the Almohads also feels pretty gosh darn good. My family line feels pretty good as well. You know, I have 2 sons who are of age, and then I have another 2 that are on the way. How old is my king, by the way? 37, so he's still pretty gosh darn young, and he's decent, right? 4 command, 4 dread, 4 piety, 5 influence. Influence could be better, acumen could be better, but you know what? That's fine. And he has a few traits here, right? Decent fighter, minus in happiness, that's not good. Minus morale, that's not good either. Okay, maybe that's not great. Scant mercy. Let's see, good zeal when governing. Honorable warrior, so +1 morale, that cancels out the scant mercy, okay. And builder, so plus in happiness in all provinces. Overall, he's kind of a decent guy. I'm not too mad about that. So I'm probably not going to I'm going to sit tight and see if the Almaheds come at me. Other than that though, I'm just going to keep plugging along here. Maybe I can send my princess. Now, I don't know, maybe you can tell me if this actually means anything. I know that, you know, by having my princess marry other factions, I can get alliances. However, with factions where I already have an alliance, like the French, I don't know if marrying my princess into their family solidifies that. I don't know if it makes it less likely for them to attack me. I don't really know, but frankly, I don't really know what else to do with my princesses right now. I don't have any generals that I feel like I need to raise their loyalty of, so I'm just going to do this. This does make it so that, let's see. Okay, yeah, I always get these mixed up. So in this case, if my faction is eliminated, the other faction has a claim to some of my lands. Obviously, it doesn't matter because the game's over for me. However, if my sons marry someone else's daughter, that means if that faction dies, then I have claim to their lands, right? So yeah, that's how that works. Okay. But right now, both of my sons are married, so that should be fine. I think I'm married to some Danish princesses. So if the Danes were eliminated right now, I would have a claim to their lands. So it's something to keep an eye on. It looks like an inquisitor was trying to kill one of my guys here in Cordoba, but this is a little bit confusing. And so the accused was released because he was fined of not being possessed by the devil. So he's not going to get burned alive. That's great, but the accused is Abu Bakr al-Salih, which does not sound like an Aragonese name. That sounds like an Almohad name. So is this just giving me a message? Was the Inquisitor trying to kill the Almohad emissary in my lands, and the game thought that I needed to know about that? I'm a little confused. I'm not sure. In any case, the French have decided to retreat from Pomerania, so there's a little bit of a back and forth between that war of the Germans, the little Franco-Prussian war going on there. Several mine complexes completed in Granada, so some more money for me. And what do we got? So, heretics and vile perverts. The heretical beliefs and perverted sexual practices of the Cathars can be ignored no longer. The simple are being swayed by their lies. Their teachings deny holy authority, doctrines of the sacrament, the cross, and even the creation of the world by God. Their supporters grow in the strength in Toulouse, Provence, Genoa, Milan, Franconia, and Bavaria. Oh no. So I believe this is just another religion that kind of pops up on these provinces, little religion panels. So it can eventually lead to, I'm assuming, population loyalty issues if there's not a counter to this, where the French would have to like bring in their bishops to try to, bring Catholicism back to the world. I don't know if inquisitors specifically, you would think this is exactly what inquisitors are meant to deal with, to diminish heretical beliefs, but inquisitors simply raise zeal in a province so much to where they eventually kill so many people that the province zeal eventually dips again after a while. So the Inquisitors just raise and lower zeal. I don't think they have anything to do with the actual religions in the provinces. So I don't think they would actually have an effect on heretical factions, right? Which would be, that's kind of weird, but I think I'm right about that. So yeah, Abu Bakr al-Salih. Yeah, that's one of my guys. Interesting. I am playing the Aragon in this video, right? I can get confused sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying, look, this obviously makes sense. the Iberian Peninsula at this time period was a very, 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 very mixed, peninsula, as I'm sure most of, Europe, I guess I was at this time period. So historically, sure, yeah, totally. I thought in the game, I thought that your generals were more aligned based on a more general sense of how people's names were considered. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but yeah, Abu Bakr is one of my guys, and he has been found. So he's devout. Interesting. That's funny. So after a recent interview with the Inquisition, he has taken to spending long hours in prayer and is vociferous in his support for the church, -2 dread and +1 piety. So he got scared shitless. And he's going to make sure he's a good Christian now. Got some Homeland's points. That's great. Yeah, that's the funny thing about sending inquisitors after someone. If that person is found innocent, then, in some ways you can end up making that person more resilient to death by Inquisition, right? So let's see if I can find this dude. Where is Abu Bakr? Is it you? No, it's not you. Who and what is an Abu Bakr? Okay, well, I have no flipping idea who this man is. I can't find him. Abu Bakr, where are you? You're supposed to be in Cordoba, right? That's where the Inquisition happened. I don't know. In any case, I don't want this Inquisitor hanging out here. Typically, they are actually tough targets for assassins. Let's see how my rank 0 assassin can do against an Inquisitor. 76%. You know what? I'll take it. See if I can get the job done there. Yeah, I feel like Inquisitors gain valor rather quickly because they get a lot of work done, I think is maybe the reason. Not sure, but that kind of feels the way. It feels like Inquisitors are, get to be kind of hard to deal with over time. Check this out. Look at Egypt, man, kicking the Byzantines completely out of Nicaea. But then look at this. The Byzantines got a cheeky little land grab going in on Anatolia, and I don't really know how they did that. I thought the Egyptians owned Trebizond, but yeah, I really need to get a boat up here into the Black Sea so that I can get vision on what's going on up here, because I'm super curious on this action here, because if the Byzantines have Trebizond, they can definitely start pushing back here against the Egyptians, and I don't really want that to happen. I do want the Byzantines to struggle for sure. Huh. But this is something. I see it's a decent province, I think. And it's not making a ton of money. Not yet. It could if they, built it up and started trading that corn. But, Egypt is not trading anything right now because they haven't built up a freaking navy, which is really too bad because they have really decent trade resources. Too bad for them because I will be taking Antioch off of them, pretty soon here. And that's going to be causing some issues for them. Yeah, the Byzantines do have Trebizond. Okay, wow. Yeah, with the new glorious achievements, they're doing pretty good. 56 points. That's quite a leap. That's quite a leap compared to what I have. So, yeah, it's a little terrifying. What I might end up doing after I take Antioch is actually I might start a little mini war against the Byzantines just to take Constantinople and then burn it to the ground and then leave it. And hopefully that would cripple them enough to where the Egyptians can kind of push back here and, do some more damage against the Byzantines. Because I don't want to have too much of a presence over on this part of the map at this point, quite frankly. Because at some point the Mongols are going to be coming and I don't want to have to deal with the Mongols. I really don't. So if I can kind of get in and out, weaken the Byzantines, and then get out of here before I deal with the Mongols, that would be nice. Because, 56 points is a little bit scary. I only have 23. I have a meager 23. And the Almohads are still racking up points. I mean, yeah, they're still got some homelands here, even though they have like 3 provinces left. And the Italians at 52. My, oh my. Yeah, they're just making so much off of these, just this handful. There's these 5-6 provinces, honestly. Yeah, Italians are doing pretty gosh darn good. But I find that, when I was playing as Aragon before in one of my other campaigns, you just got to keep your head down. Eventually I will be getting more homeland points. I can't remember. I think I do get homeland points for some of these provinces. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that as I go along here. I was able to kill that Inquisitor, so no more funny business from that guy. And the King of Hungary has died. So now, and he didn't have any heirs. So that's it for Hungary. They are gone. And I believe that is the second faction that's been destroyed. I think that the Turks was the first, and yeah, now we have Hungary gone. Yeah, that's a little too bad. The Almohad Khalifa has died from an illness, but his heir has taken over. Dockyard is finished here in Valencia, and now I want to see if I can start building my tier 2 ships now that that's finished. And the keep is finally finished here in Navarre as well. Hurrah! And same thing here in Leon. So now I can finally build that church, and then that chapter house, and then my first crusade marker. So we're getting there. We're coming along. Dockyard is finished in Aragon, so same thing as in Valencia. We'll see if I can build my tier 2 ships yet. And yes, good news. The Almohads have accepted my offer of a ceasefire. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. So what do we got? Nothing too crazy. Prince Kark is now a builder, +10 happiness. And King is also a great builder, so +1 loyalty to all generals, and then +10 happiness in all provinces. Wonderful. Love it. Love to see it. And if I can actually get an alliance now with the Almohad Khalifa, that would also be fantastic. It looks like I'm going to have to go over to Algeria to, see if I can talk to him. But I would be totally fine with that. And is there any more? Nothing's really changed, I don't think. Yeah, nothing's changed. It's always worth, after a glorious achievements, what's the word for it? Whatever these things are called, checkpoints. After a glorious achievements checkpoint, it's worth checking to see if anything's changed. So 1175, the points are counted. Then 1176, go back in here and see if anything's changed. Then you'll know if you have to go for another province to get some more points. In my case, nothing has changed yet, so just keep trucking along. Let's see. I almost called him a ninja. My assassin did get a point of valor for killing that Inquisitor. So now let's get rid of these Almohad emissaries that are hanging out in my provinces. Let's try to level up my assassin a little bit more here. It's interesting that I cannot yet build my tier 2 ship. I wonder why. Was the compass event not activated yet in this campaign? I thought it was. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm getting my two campaigns mixed up, but this campaign where I'm playing as Aragon is ahead of the Almohads, I believe, and I thought that for sure that I saw the compass event happen in at least one of my campaigns, if not both of them. So there must be a second thing that has to be unlocked before I can get my tier 2 boats. I wonder what it is. Are they not available until I reach the high period? Because 1176 is still the early period, and then the high period doesn't start until 1204, and there are units that are locked until that point, like crosswomen, for example. I can build the building that trains crosswomen in the earlier period, but then I can't actually train crosswomen until the high period. So I wonder if that's the case for these boats. I may have kind of gotten that wrong here. Not obviously the biggest deal in the world, because I will be able to train those boats or build those boats as soon as I do reach that point. So it's not the biggest deal in the world, I guess. I mean, I did waste a little bit of time there, but you know what? That's totally fine. I think I do want to start building a church here in Valencia, because I would like to start training up some bishops and sending bishops out all over the world so that I can get some vision on these territories and just kind of see what's going on, because I love to see what's going on. That's one of my favorite things to do. Moving right along here, looks like I was able to also kill the Almohad's emissary, and my ninja is just, I keep calling him a ninja. My assassin is just getting better and better. The King of Sicily has died from an illness, but he has an heir as well. It looks like there's an Inquisition here in Naples. Again, don't really know what this has to do with me. I don't know. Why do I care? I don't know. Looks like the King of France has graciously accepted my proposal for marriage. Huzzah! So now my daughter is married into his family. And then nothing really here. Ooh, -4 happiness. Okay. Yeah, +2 acumen, -4 happiness for Lord Velasquez. Looks like everyone's still happy though, so I'm not too worried about it. Now let's just keep killing, my friends. Yeah, you are now a 2 Valor assassin, so let's just keep going with you. Go after this Almahead emissary as well. 86%, I think that's going to be just fine. And now I'm feeling a little bit better about having my armies in Navarre. That feels like a decent strength force there. I do eventually want to replace all of these emissaries. I mean, not emissaries, all of these mercenaries that I do have in my armies. Right now I kind of need them just for numbers' sake, but over time I would like to have a full professional Aragonese army, you know, without mercenaries kind of spoiling the ranks, because I do like fighting with actual army compositions that I'm practiced with and not just kind of a hodgepodge of units that, you know, don't make any sense. Obviously, it's kind of necessary at this point in the campaign because I really needed the mercenaries to help fill out my forces, but over time I would like to get to a point where that is not the case. So slowly but surely we are getting there. I think this is going to be the last group of men that I want to bring to Navarre. And then after that, I might want to start bringing guys back to Aragon, because, yeah, Aragon, I should always have more soldiers in Aragon than Navarre. Navarre, obviously, I don't want to break this 2-province border that I have, but the fact that the French have 2 provinces bordering Aragon means that I need to make sure that this is the not going to be my weak link here. So let's bring, just like I said, just a few more. Yeah, that's probably going to be it for Navarre. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And the good news is, if I ever do need to... Let's see, I do have an inn in Castile, right? I believe I do, yeah. So the thing with inns, it's interesting because they have basically like a mercenary magnetic function, you know, where they kind of magnetize, they kind of bring in mercenaries to your provinces. However, that magnetism is canceled out by the tier of your castle in that province. So building a basic tier 1 fort, right? That cancels out some of the magnetism that is brought in by your inn, and, you know, decreases the amount of mercenaries that you can have. Now, as we've seen already, it doesn't matter too much. We've seen that I actually can get quite a few mercenaries even with a tier 1 fort, but that does go lower and lower as we elevate the tier of our castles. So now that I do have tier 2 castles, you know, the keep in Aragon, Navarre, and Castile, that is going to make it so that I can't get as many mercenaries in these provinces. And it's a really cool feature. I think that's really neat that it's basically representing that, you know, you're going to get more mercenaries kind of on the outskirts of your domain, right? Kind of on the edges of civilization is where you're going to get these men looking and be willing to be paid to fight. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool thing. Obviously, you know, kind of sucks for me because I am building up to the point where I have keeps and all of my provinces that could potentially train mercenaries. And let's see what I can get. I can still get quite a few here in Aragon, so that's good. This feels really good. For some reason, though, I just can't. Let's see, what about... Yeah, Navarre, I can't get any... And I do have... No, I don't have an inn there. That's right. But I do have an inn in Castile, and I do have an inn in Valencia. Yes, I do. Can I train anything? Nope, no mercenaries available in Valencia either. But Aragon, that's a pretty decent pool of mercenaries. So if push comes to shove, I can call upon those men to help me out in a war. My assassin is now 3 for 3. That's 2 Almahead emissaries down for the count. And he's probably getting pretty good right now. The French have the strongest military. Good for them. And my first offensive upgrade for my keep is finished here in Navarre. And my improved farmland is also finished here in Cordoba. Spearmaker's Workshop is finished here in Castile. And King of England, sorry man. You're at war with my neighbor, and I gotta go with the French on this one. Sorry, dude. Can't do it. And what about the Byzantines? Well, he wants to be my friend, I guess. I don't know, honestly, because I do eventually want to go to war with them. And by doing so, I'd be losing influence. I don't know. I think I'm going to turn them down, honestly. Yeah. And it looks like the... Awesome. So the Almaheads have accepted my offer of alliance. Sweet. I mean, we've already been here before. And same with the Danes. Yes, so we are friends with the Danes. That is something that I do want. And we have another son on the way. Huzzah! Prince Gark, man, always drunk. Man, that sucks. -2 command, -1 acumen. That's not good. I think Prince Gark might be my eldest. I can't quite remember. So I'm gonna have to check in on that. Who is my eldest? Yeah, Prince Gark. That's, what else do you got? So, I mean, you're super loyal. That's good. 4 piety, 2 dread, 2 command. And yeah, he's a great warrior, so he will survive well in a battle. Always drunk, though. Not a good commander. Builder, though. Builder and a believer, so he's pious. He's a pious man. He's a pious drunk. Oh, well. Oh, well, indeed. As long as he survives and produces sons, that's really all I need you to do right now, because I'm not really planning on being too aggressive from a military standpoint, so, you know, having a drunk king, it's not, you know, it's not good. It's not a good thing, but it's also not going to be the worst thing in the world. Now I do have vision on this area surrounding the Black Sea, and things are, yeah, the Byzantines look like they are pushing back against the Egyptians, and it looks like they are going to be receiving help from the French. Yeah, it looks like they are here, and yeah, I can't, god damn it, I can't spy on them. Why can't I spy on the French fleet? I have boats in the region, and there are no French boats blocking me from spying on them, so I'm not sure. Why can't I? There's no Byzantine boats either. There's no Byzantine boats in either of these 3 provinces. Why can't I spy on this province or the armies within? Huh. Yeah, I don't... okay, yeah. There must be something I'm missing here, because there's been a few times where I've, you know, been looking at provinces and I can't quite tell what's blocking my line of sight. Oh, well, it's, you know, whatever. It's not the biggest deal. Once I have, you know, a bishop in every single province in the world, then I'll be able to see everything, and nothing will be hidden from me, from my eyes. Until then, I'll just be confused by the way naval stuff works. It's just, whatever. The naval stuff is just a kind of one of those enigmas that you just have to kind of deal with. And kind of distill it, you know, try to make it as simple as possible. At least that's the way I look at it. You know, for example, naval engagements, try to outnumber them, make it that simple. You know, there's obviously stats involved, but do I know what they all mean? Do I know how they work? Just outnumber them. Just outnumber the Navy that you're fighting against. And then as far as vision goes, just be happy when you can spy on the provinces, I guess. Because sometimes I just won't know the answer. I don't know what's blocking my line of sight. Yeah. It has been suggested that maybe it's other factions' allies' ships. So would it be the Sicilians? Are the Byzantines and the Sicilians allies? No, they're not. No, the Byzantines or the Sicilians are not allied. So this ship should not be blocking my vision of these provinces. So, just one of those grand medieval Total War mysteries, and that's okay. It's part of the fun, isn't it? Look at the French Crusade making some progress here. They are now in Trebizond, yeah, and the Byzantines obviously are just kind of letting them through. They don't want to make any enemies with the French right now. And, I mean, obviously the French are going to be helping out the Byzantines kind of in a way, right, by attacking the Egyptians, which at this point are the Byzantines' mortal enemies. So, I can't remember, and since I can't spy on this crusade right now, I can't recall what this objective is. I don't think it's Antioch. I don't think I'm going to have to go to war with the French to beat that. I think it's Tripoli, is it? Oh, gosh, I wish I could spy on this goddamn crusade. I want to know. I think it's Tripoli or maybe Odessa, but I don't think it's Antioch. I'm not sure, though. I will have to follow that up. Actually, you know what? Let's get down to this. I do have emissaries, right? This one's just kind of wandering around. I've just kind of sent them on a merry little journey to see what's going on. It looks like Cyrenaica is now fallen. It no longer belongs to the Almohads. It's a little buffer here between the Egyptians and the Almohads. So let's go to Egypt and see what I can see. I can use this port to kind of go up here to, yeah, try to maybe Anatolia or let's say Armenia and try to find out where this French Crusade is going. And then up here I did, I'm just kind of doing the same thing with this emissary. I just want to see what I can see, you know. See, just kind of travel the world, be a little Marco Polo, make friends. Make friends, kiss some babies, shake some hands, and yeah, just kind of see what's going on in the world. I can finally build the chapter house here in Lyon. It is time to do it. 500 florins, 4 years. So this will be finished in the year 1184. And then I can't quite remember how many years it takes to build a crusade marker. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? I can't remember, but I don't think it's more than 4. So if we're looking at this building being finished in 1184, and then at the very most, another 4 years, 1188, before the chapter marker is complete, and I mean the crusade marker is complete, and then yeah, I can launch it immediately if I feel like I'm ready to go. I don't have to wait for the crusade to build. So yeah, if I should really get going on my army construction, which I am working on it. I'm kind of working on Spanish Gentes and archers right now. And once I'm finished training up spearmen for my northern border, I can start to send my feudal sergeants down here to Castile, so I can kind of, you know, start building an army here, and I can work on getting that crusade marker going here in Lyon. So that's going to feel really good. Let's get that chapter house going. 500 florins, that's going to be a steal, considering all of the money I will be making off of Antioch soon enough. This is now going to be the third faction eliminated. The King of England is now dead. He's been captured and executed. And that's it. The Turks, the Hungarians, and the English are all gone here. So the French are pretty much uncontested in the northern areas. I mean, of course, there's Denmark, and that's about it, I suppose. Nothing I need to really pay attention to here, I don't think. Go through this very quickly. Honorable Warrior is a good one. But yeah, this is uncontested now. That doesn't necessarily mean that the French have all of this, but that does mean the English are gone. So the French can, you know, eventually conquer the rest of the British Isles if they haven't already. And that does kind of concerningly get rid of one of their 3 enemies. And I hope, you know, out of just sheer boredom, they don't turn their sights on me. I am their only freaking ally, so you would think that I'm fine, right? They wouldn't want to betray their only ally. They are at war with the Germans and the Egyptians. So you would think that they just kind of focus on that for now. They do only have 1 stack in Toulouse and Aquitaine, so they have moved some forces away from me. And maybe that's because I've killed their emissaries, so they don't feel comfortable in attacking because they don't know what I have. That could have something to do with it. And if that's the case, I will take full credit for that genius move of securing my borders here. And that feels really good. We have a French bishop down here. Ah, must kill, must kill. How's my assassin doing? You are now 3 stars. I love that, man. Good for you. I love that for you. Your career is going so well right now. Go down here, kill a French bishop. You know, that's a nice little vacation down to Granada for you. And the French, really, I gotta hope that they turn their sights on the Italians next. I would love to see the Italians get knocked down a peg, especially because they are, you know, kicking ass with their glorious achievements points. They are way ahead of you, France, even though France, man, you guys are just kicking ass. So, yeah, it's too bad that your home objectives are so crappy. You know, they're almost as bad as mine. And the Byzantines are still doing well. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there hasn't been really much progress here. The Egyptians still do hold Nicaea, and there is still this, French crusade here that I still can't spy on, but, you know, in this case, who knows? Who knows why I can't spy on them? But let's see if I can get my emissary a little bit closer here. I can get him up to Anatolia, and then I will bring him up to Trebizond after that. Because, yeah, at this point, he can't, I don't think he can continue to go through Byzantine territory. I think he has to kind of make his move. I believe that the Egyptians hold Rum, so otherwise he would have already gone there if this is held by the Byzantines. So he's going to hang out here for a while and see if he wants to make his move. And I want to see how possible that is for him as well, because the Egyptians they're a little bit on the soft side. I mean, the fact they have a whole stack here guarding up against, like, nothing, you know, these rebels that probably will never attack, is a little unfortunate. They could use some of these men up here. And same with this whole, like, force here in Sinai. And even Palestine, like, what are they guarding against, you know? Bring these soldiers north to fight up against the French and the Byzantines. Because I'm worried that the Byzantines are going to really take back all of these territories here before I have a chance to sack Constantinople. I want to help the Egyptians before they get eliminated. So that's going to be my goal, but I can't help you guys if you don't help yourselves first. So please, Egypt, please, come on. You were doing so well. So I'm rooting for you. I really am. Moving right along here, I do have another heir who has matured, Prince Pedro. Let's check you out. Let's see how you are. Royal Court is completed here in Cordoba. This is going to allow me to train up my Royal Knights or to retrain my damaged Royal Knight units. And it's also a building that's required to eventually train actual full units of knights. So I do need to start building more of these, to be honest. So that's finished here in Cordoba. Royal Palace is finished here in Valencia. That's just to allow me to train up some more emissaries in another province other than Aragon, if I need some more emissaries. And the keep is finally finished here in Portugal, so now I can build the shipwright, so I can start building ships in Portugal. Town Watch, finished in Navarre. That's a long time coming. I should have built that before I built the keep, to be honest. Because now I can finally start training some soldiers and, what will be a really good troop-producing province for me someday. Not quite yet. It's not there yet. But there is iron deposits in Navarre, so we will get there eventually. Town Guard completed here in Castile, so I can train militia sergeants if I want to. And Prince of Novgorod wants to be an ally. That's totally fine. I would love some more allies. I don't know if having more allies increases my king's influence. It should. If it doesn't, it should. It's just, influence is another one of those things. I know, like, winning battles influences influence, but I don't know if having more allies does. I mean, I guess I could check. At the beginning of this episode, I believe my king's influence was like 5. So I've gotten a few more alliances in this episode, so we will see. Prince Ferdinand, what you got? This is my other son who's not just newly, of age. Blackmailer, so -3 loyalty. Okay. He's been caught blackmailing a senior official, so he's been fined a large sum. Hopefully he's going to be okay. We'll have to check out his loyalty. -3 is a lot. Yeah, damn. And then he's also a believer, so +1 piety. So he's a blackmailer, but he loves God. And Prince Pedro, strange. That's not good. -1 morale and -10 happiness. Yikes. But he's also a natural leader. That's funny. So +2 morale and then +1 loyalty. So that's a strange combination of traits right there. It ends up being a plus overall, a net gain on the whole army morale, which is nice. So I guess that's okay. Let's check him out and let's see. Yeah, 4 stars good. 4 star, he's super loyal, 2 acumens, whatever, 3 dread, 3 piety. Yeah, I'll take it, and a net gain of +1 morale out of these 2 traits. Okay, that is okay. Ferdinand, though, where are you, Ferdinand? Are you still okay? Yeah, 6 loyalty is, I think, gonna be just fine. So, with Prince Pedro, let's get you a wife. Who do I want to talk to? The Germans? I can't talk to the Germans. Oh yeah, I can. If I marry their princess into my faction, that doesn't count as an alliance. So it doesn't matter that the Germans are fighting the French. I can still marry their women if they say yes. So yes, will you marry Prince Pedro? I mean, why wouldn't you? Take a look at this dude. Take a look at his haircut. Come on. Come on. Look at that face. You can't say no to that king of Germany. And he must be my, yeah, he's now my heir. Yeah, because he's my king's actual son and not brother. So like Prince Gark was one of the brothers. Now Prince Pedro is now the new heir. Okay, yeah. All right. I can deal with this as my new heir. I think he's better than Gark, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, because Gark's a drunk. Yeah. He's a 36-year-old drunk. 2 command, 2 dread. And that might keep getting worse. I think that always drunk, I think it can get worse than that. So yeah, thank God that Prince Pedro is here. Let's get you somewhere. Where do I want you? I feel like the down south region is fine. I'm not too worried about what the Allies have. They do have 1 unit of Gulam bodyguards, but that's it. So, I mean, we have 1 unit of Royal Knights here in Granada. I could probably use a unit of Royal Knights, to be honest, here in Cordoba. So maybe I bring down my prince here. Maybe that's what I want to do with him. How many do I have here in Aragon? 1, 2, and then 3. And then how about here? We have 0 and then 1. Let's just bring him to Navarre. Yeah, you can hang out in Navarre. Give me another royal presence there to hang out. And that's feeling pretty good. My treasury has gone up to 17 grand in this episode alone. And my profits are, yeah, 3,300, you know, good. But it is going to get better as I get more and more boats in the water. I have a pretty decent presence here in the Mediterranean. I'm covering quite a bit here. So I am making progress here. I do need more of a presence here in the northern, you know, waters, but I will get there eventually. And I am working on building this small little Crusader army. We'll get there eventually, and Chapter House is 2 turns away before it's finished here. Oh, does it take 4 turns? Yeah, it does take. So 2 more years before this is finished. I am building up my bishops now in Leon, so I can start spying on, you know, the rest of the world eventually. And can I finally spy on this? Can I spy on this crusade? No, I cannot. I have to wait until I get up here and I can then spy on that crusade. I'll get there. It'll happen eventually. So overall, though, this is looking pretty good. It's feeling pretty good. I feel like there was something I wanted to check before I wrapped things up here. But if there was something that I wanted to check, then I can't remember what it is. That means it wasn't important. Because, of course, if it was important, I wouldn't forget. But that is going to be it for this episode. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Sip, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.